In this episode, we're sitting down with the new Napa Chief of Police, Fabio Rodriguez, to get to know the person behind the badge and hear his journey, how he rose through the ranks, what it means to lead a department, and why he sees policing as both a calling and a business. We'll explore how his team cares for the Napa community and what it takes to recruit the very best officers to keep the city safe. Let's dive into it.
All right, guys, we're back here with another episode. We're here live. Obviously, we're at the Napa Police Department with the new Chief of Police, Fabio. And I think we're going to get into a very interesting topic and a way that people don't really think of policing, and that's the business of policing. But on top of that, I'm going to learn a little bit about Fabio, who he is, what he does, and I guess how you run a police department. So first and foremost, just introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do?
Well, first off, Rio, thank you very much for having me here and giving me the opportunity to talk to you. I appreciate it. I'm very honored, very humbled to have the opportunity to lead the men and women of this police department, of the Napa Police Department, and I'm excited to be here.
All right, beautiful. Well, where are you from? Are you from Napa?
I'm born and raised in the city of Vallejo.
Okay.
I actually spent a lot of time in Napa. Napa actually holds a really special place in my heart. A lot of people don't know this about me. When I was younger, I had an aunt and uncle who lived in town. We were very close with them. I actually spent a lot of holidays out here.
Okay.
A lot of holidays and a lot of time out here.
So you're kind of Napa-ish.
Kind of Napa-ish. And
Okay.
I can tell you this. I remember sitting at the stoplight of Highway 29 and Trancas Boulevard before the overcrossing was there.
You go back.
Yeah, I remember sitting there for...
Well, not much has changed. You're still going to sit there. The road just looks different. We've talked about this off camera, and it's really sparked a conversation in my head just because you don't think about policing in this way. But tell me what you think about this statement. Policing is a business.
I 100% agree with that, and that's the approach I take with it. I know you and I have talked about it a lot, and the way I look at it and the way I've approached my career is we are in the business of making people feel safe. And in that regard, policing is a business, and we need to be a successful business. And to me, that success can come in a lot of different ways. It could be a police officer driving down the street. It could be a police officer getting out of his or her car to talk to you, police officer doing a business check. How we make you feel when we come to your house, the service we provide when you call 911, and when you walk into our lobby.
So let's backtrack a little bit. You talked to us that you grew up in Vallejo, kind of coming to Napa, so kind of some influences of both. Where's your family from? Are they from Vallejo?
I'm first generation. My parents were born in Nicaragua. They came to Vallejo, and that's where I was born and raised, went to school, high school in Vallejo, and got my foot into the law enforcement door at the age of 19 when I became a police cadet with the Vallejo Police Department.
And then what was your inspiration or like your early influence to really go down that path?
It was interesting because I didn't have anybody in my family who was in law enforcement, who was in the military. I saw interactions with law enforcement in our community. I remember, I could still think back to our school resource officer that I had at my school who would come and talk about the DARE program and just the influence that police officer had. Just looking at that police officer and just wondering what the job entailed. I thought it was so cool, all the stuff that she wore on her belt, and just that started piquing my interest. I've carried that with me forward, how important every interaction with law enforcement is.
And then what interests did you have growing up, like outside of policing, right? Because obviously it sounds like you didn't decide to be a police officer from 13 years old or something.
I remember playing sports. I wrestled, played soccer, hung out with my friends, and just being a kid.
Yeah.
And to your point, though, I remember, like I said, the inspiration of being a police officer. I became interested in the field, and it's actually pretty early on. I remember thinking that that's something I wanted to do. So.
And then it sounds like the cadet program like really helped you to pursue it.
If I look back at my career, my life, I'd say that's probably one of the defining moments. Was at 19 years old, I entered the cadet program, and it changed the way I looked at life, changed the way my perspective on how to treat people and how to make people feel safe, and the honor in this job.
Okay, now you've come a long way.
I've been very fortunate. I've had a lot of good mentors along the way.
And then what was your goal in joining Vallejo PD? Because you, I mean, realistically could have worked for anyone, right? Like, why Vallejo specifically?
I wanted to give back to my community. Like I said, I was born and raised in Vallejo. It was something that was important to me. It was important to serve where I lived. I felt pride. And I wanted to give back to the community.
And then what's the transition here from you being a cadet to actually joining the police department, like as an officer?
You mean as far as like a career path?
Yeah, like from how long were you a cadet versus like how long did it take you to become an actual officer?
Joined the cadet program when I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
I was actually going to Napa Valley College as a student here. and eventually transferred to Sacramento State University, where I earned my bachelor's degree in criminal justice. Once I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I was in the cadet program for about 3.5 years and was hired with Vallejo and put through the academy.
And well, your first year of patrol, what was that like? Hitting the streets, I guess, if you will.
Just like anything else, I think one thing I learned early on is that you are a student forever. You never know it all. You're learning every day. It's something I've carried with me my entire career. I don't have all the answers. I look around me to people who are around me who have the answers. And if I don't continue to learn, then I'm stagnant and I'm no longer any good to the profession or those around me.
Just spoken like a true CEO.
It is a business.
During your police career, were there any moments of doubting yourself or your career choice of being a police officer?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I've enjoyed, there's been good days, there's been bad days, but I've never looked back in my career and decided that this isn't something that I did not make the right decision of getting into law enforcement.
Obviously, you could have worked on patrol forever, I guess, if you want to say. So at what point did you realize you wanted to move up in management, I guess I'll call it, in law enforcement?
Like I spoke with earlier, I had a lot of good mentors along my career. When you first become a police officer, you always start in patrol. Patrol is what is relatively known as home. Every time you promote, you go back to patrol. After working patrol for about 3 years, I applied for and was accepted into a crime suppression unit. And through there, got a lot of experiences. Subsequently, I worked in narcotics. Was fortunate enough to be assigned to 2 federal task forces, one through DEA and one through FBI. And then upon returning back from those task forces, was again given the opportunity to expand my career and eventually went into investigations, working in the detective division, eventually becoming a detective, the detective sergeant, and eventually the lieutenant of investigations.
And was there like a specific part of policing that like you were drawn to, or were you just kind of trying stuff as you like went on?
Looking back in my career, I really, really enjoyed investigations. Okay. I enjoyed taking a case at times from very little known facts, developing a lead, in turn developing evidence, identifying a suspect, and the satisfaction of going back to the victim in the case or their family and be able to explain, hey, we made an arrest, or we started with nothing, or we didn't really think we were going to be able to solve this, and now I'm bringing you some closure to the case. And I think being able to see the entire process of that case is really rewarding, and it's healing a lot of times for individuals involved.
I'd say there's not many jobs you can do that in for people. So what does it take to like actually move up in management? We asked this from an outsider looking in, but maybe someone who wants to work in law enforcement and was like, well, how do I go become a lieutenant, become a captain, become et cetera? Like what does it take to reach the next level, I guess, if you will, in policing?
Fortitude,
okay,
the desire to do it, and the knowledge to know that you don't know it all. And that there's people around you who've done this job before, who've done this job for a long time at various ranks, and each of them have experiences, and everybody has something that you can take from them. There's people who may work patrol their entire lives, but they have so much knowledge in a certain area, and why not be able to lean on those experts? So you don't have all the answers. There's people around you who do, and if you don't know it, find someone who does.
It sounds like you lean on a lot of your team. Is that through your management style that you've learned that, or is that through like your mentors that they talk to you, hey, this is the way that you should operate, for example?
It's both. It's mentors throughout the years, and I look back in my career now, and I look back at the years, and I think to myself, that's why they did that, or that's why they asked that, or that's why they pointed me in that direction. And I personally, I've always taken the philosophy of wanting to leave a place better than I found it.
Yep.
Not only the organization, but the people around me. And my goal is to always come back 2 years or 3 years and look at that person and in my mind think they are doing this job better than I ever did.
Okay.
And just setting it up for the next generation.
That's great. I mean, that's a great way to run your business or set people up for success.
We work in a people business, and success is truly gauged through relationships and experiences.
Okay, well, talking about that, how do you learn to manage within policing? Like, how do you deal with different personalities? Whether you're in the context of a police department or a grocery store, people have different personalities. Sometimes people butt heads, etc. So how do you deal with to manage that?
The one constant I always have is everybody's got a story. Everybody has experiences. Everybody's got a perspective. Everybody's got a lens through which they're seeing the world. And a lot of times it's just a reminder of meeting people where they're at. Meeting people where they're at in life and just taking a second to know people. One of the things I always focus on is I need to know my people before I really, really need to know them. Before something happens and I need to know them at the different levels. So to me, that's why the interactions in the hallway, the walking by an office and just poking your head and, hey, what's going on? How was this weekend? That is so key and so important to me.
Road to police chief. Talk to me about it. I mean, I think there's not many people on this planet that can say they were a police chief. So how did your journey kind of come about, and well, how did you end up here today?
Like I said, I never woke up. I didn't get into this business to be a police chief. I didn't wake up one day and in the middle of, as a police officer, say that's what I want to do. Things just happened. And when I talk about mentors and people pointing you in the right direction, looking back now, I can say, okay, that's why they wanted me to take this assignment, or that's why they wanted me to work this case, or that's why they wanted me to have this experience, to build upon that. So I've been extremely, extremely fortunate. I was fortunate enough, 2022 was when I came to the Napa Police Department. I came here as a captain. I had a great mentor under Chief Gonzalez. She mentored me and exposed me to experiences that I didn't necessarily have before. And again, it's just another lens to look at things. So when Chief Gonzalez retired at the beginning of this year, the opportunity for police chief opened up. How could I not want to be the chief of police of this agency?
Yeah, sounds like she prepped you for it.
She was very instrumental in the process.
And then what's that process like? I mean, to become a police chief, I'm sure it's not a light decision by city management, city council, whoever oversees that. So what was that process like for you once you actually put your application in?
The actual testing process was several days and involved several different panels. Initially, your application to make sure you met the qualifications as it relates to tenure as a police officer, experience, certificates, education. And once the process actually started, it involved several panels, a community panel, a department head panel for the city of Napa for other department heads, and also a law enforcement professional panel. It was pretty extensive.
Sounds pretty intense.
It was, yes.
Okay, well, you made it through. So now as your day-to-day as a police chief, like, what does that look like now? Like, what is your day-to-day?
Every day is different.
Okay.
I can say that. Sometimes it can involve meeting with community members. It could involve discussing issues with other department heads within the city. It could mean, like was describing earlier, walking around the station, talking to people. What internal issues are coming up operationally, getting to know our people, and just making sure that everybody's okay and that we're doing the best that we can to provide the best service for the city of Napa.
And what is your responsibility as chief?
My overall responsibility, chief, is the safety of everyone, both everyone inside this building, our staff, as well as members of our community as well. And just overseeing the day-to-day operations as it relates to that. Like I said before, you need good people in good positions. I have a great command staff. We have great officers here and great professional staff here. Those are the experts. So a lot of the times it's talking to them, seeing what ideas they have in order to move our department forward.
What are your goals? I mean, I'm sure each police chief has their way of running things, right? So your goals as a new police chief, like, what are those for you?
My biggest goals are, again, the safety of our community, the safety of our staff, but above all, leaving this department, this organization, better than I found it. And not only that, but also setting those up who are still in the department, who are going to lead the next generation, putting them in a position where they have the experiences, they have the training to successfully do that in years to come.
I think this is going to be a very interesting part because it is a business. So how do you hire and build your team? Like, what are you looking for when you're hiring someone or bringing them into the department?
One of the big things I always ask of people who sit in front of us, in front of our hiring board, is I explain to them the business side of this and what I see the Napa Police Department as being. And I say the Napa Police Department because to me, there is pride in that. We are the Napa Police Department. We are a business who provides safety. So one of the things I always ask people is, how do you make our brand better? I want bright, educated people who can think outside of the box and who make us better. Who make us better internally and in turn make the services that we provide better to the community.
That's a great question. So I almost want to ask you, like, what have been some good answers you've gotten?
We've gotten some really great answers, and it's also an opportunity not only for the person to answer the question, but it also gives us some insight into the person. That question actually evokes a lot of thought in some people. And it also gives us some insight to them and things that I can learn about them for later on down the road to maybe shoulder tap them about something. Hey, you mentioned this in your interview. This is how you're going to make us better. Can I talk to you about that more?
Yeah.
Or can you give me some ideas of, what did you mean? And how can I help you with that process?
And do you find being collaborative like that has like really helps you do your job well, or like help the department just run very efficiently?
Absolutely. This is the role of the chief of police is just one person. The Napa Police Department is comprised of many men and women who make up this department. Like I said, I don't know it all. There's experts within this building, and my job is to help better them, develop them, and give them the opportunity to make this department and our community better.
Expense, yeah. Your overhead, yeah.
Overhead.
Yeah. But why would someone want to come here to the city of Napa or specifically work within the department?
Why wouldn't anybody want to come to the city of Napa and work for the Napa Police Department? You have great community support. You have a department who's invested not only in the betterment and growth of the department, but of the community as well. It's a worldwide destination. We have a great command staff. We have experienced officers. Our professional staff is second to none. So my question isn't why would somebody want to come here? My question would be, why wouldn't somebody want to come here?
And then what is your vision? I know we're talking a lot about what you're kind of doing now and that you want to leave it better than you found it. But what's your vision for the Napa Police Department?
In order to leave it better than I found it, it's developing the people that we have here more, giving them the opportunity, recruiting the brightest, the best, the most talented people that we can. We're doing that currently through our recruiting program. Our recruiting team is out there. They're going to non-stop recruiting fairs. We're out in the community through community engagement. We're doing everything we can to recruit our future leaders who are out driving the city of Napa, walking out here in downtown. That's the future of the city of Napa, and we want that.
How are you approaching the ongoing issue of staffing? It seems like a lot of departments, not here, but all over the country, are kind of struggling with that.
Yeah, all departments are struggling with it, lowering standards. Like I said, you want to work for the Napa Police Department, you need to be able to improve our brand. How do you make us better? Public trust is huge. We're not going to jeopardize that for anything. So we want the best. We're engaging with the community. We're very active on social media. And we're very open to people coming in. We've streamlined our application process. So we're doing everything that we can to build upon what we have now in order to, again, recruit the best and the brightest.
And then how do you measure success as a police chief? Because you can't necessarily measure that you left it better than when you came in, right? There's no like a number on that, if you will. So what are your like KPIs that you report to the city manager, city council, or how does that work?
Success could be measured in many different ways. As it relates to things that I look at is obviously the reduction of crime, both our level of involvement with the community, but also the community's level of involvement with us, and the level at which our staff cooperates with each other, works with each other, and ideas that they come up with in order to move our department forward.
From outsider looking in again, right? It seems like a nice place to work.
It's a great place to work.
Okay, so are you guys currently hiring?
Yes, we're always hiring. You may see our recruiting cars driving around town. There's a QR code available on that. You can walk up, you can scan it. It takes you right to the webpage of the jobs for the city that we're hiring at. And we're here. And even if you're driving downtown, stop by the police department, walk in our lobby. We can give you an application there as well.
Well, that's pretty easy. Making life pretty easy, I'd say. As police chief or Fabio, is there anything that you would like to say to the community or just kind of some closing thoughts?
Yes, I'd like the community to know that there are dedicated men and women who work for the Napa Police Department who are invested in this, both the community and this department. We have so much expertise here within the department, and we have people who care about the community and want to make it better. It's a great place to work. I'm proud to be a Napa police officer, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Fabio, for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
If you guys see Fabio in town, be sure to say hi. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time. All right, peace.